What's going on, everyone? So, the Lakers are more likely than not to trade the number 17th pick in the upcoming NBA draft. I've seen some kind of mixed just bag as far as people's opinions on what they should do. Should they actually trade the 17th pick, or should they draft somebody that can maybe, hopefully, make an impact? Now, a couple things about that. One, right, the Lakers, in my opinion, are kind of in a win-win, right? Because, like, worst case scenario, you draft somebody that hopefully you're high on, that you hit, that maybe you can have as a quality role player that can come in. You know, look at what happened with Austin Reeves, although he went undrafted. But Lakers have had success with drafting in the previous years. I know a lot of people are down on Jalen Hood-Schifino, but he's a 20-year-old kid that was never going, whoever the Lakers drafted this past season, was never going to get a real opportunity to the level in which, you know, a Jaime Jaquez got with a, Miami Heat. But the idea is, like, if you could draft somebody like that, maybe you'd have an impact. But to me, trading the pick, it depends on what the return is, right? Like, if you're just trading the pick for some, like, random, if you trade the number 17th pick to land Andre Drummond, right? I like Andre Drummond. Sign him to a vet minimum. But, like, if you were to trade that for, again, if it's something silly where you're just like, really? Like, that's what we're trading for? Then no. But if you are using that pick to go get a DeJounte Murray or, a Donovan Mitchell or somebody that can come in and have a real impact that is more helpful for now, then I think you trade that pick. Now, again, it depends on what's available out there. Obviously, they're going to have to package other picks, other players. Lakers taxes, always a real thing, so we'll see how that develops. If a trade were to happen, though, with that number 17th pick, it's probably going to happen close to the trade, to the draft day. So, again, we'll kind of see how this all plays out. But as far as, like, drafting the pick goes, right, like, again, Lakers have had success over there. I mean, just look at all these, like, various teams that, made the playoffs or in the playoffs, and, like, they're just littered with Lakers, like, second round draft picks, right? Like Larry Nance Jr. I mean, Julius Randle, although he hasn't played in the playoffs, but he's a big piece and a big factor for, the New York Knicks. Brandon Ingram, and again, Larry Nance, with the New Orleans Pelicans. Josh Hart is just killing it right now with the New York Knicks, right? You have all the Ibaka Zubac, right? Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. The Lakers have actually drafted very well over the years. They just have kind of taken all those draft picks, turned them into, Anthony Davis, and then kind of let guys go. In Julius Randle's case, Alex Caruso was another one where you're just like, that's the one that you wish you could have back. So, look, I trust the Lakers draft and scouting department. Again, even this year, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should have gotten this guy. You should have gotten Whitmore. You should have gotten, Jaime Jaquez or whatever. One, Jaime Jaquez, no one really saw it coming. Cam Whitmore was projected to be a top 10 pick, but then, just injury concerns and, characters. And there's a lot that went into him falling as far as he fell. And we'll see what they develop as a player. But one, whoever the Lakers drafted, like I said, was never going to get the real opportunity. Two, whoever the Lakers drafted this past season were very likely going to get traded at some point anyway, as I still believe Jalen Hood-Schifino likely is still going to end up getting traded at some point. Even Maxwell Lewis is actually who I'm high on. Maxwell Lewis is actually the guy, if you were around last draft, I made a video on saying that that's the guy that I hope the Lakers took with number 17. I really liked him out of Pepperdine. Versatile wing, great athleticism. I think he has a ton of upside and potential. Even if it's not like starting level, I do think he could be a real kind of rotation key piece at some point. But again, they're young players, right? And the third thing is just like, again, got to be willing to let guys grow and develop, right? You got to be willing to let guys kind of become what they become, right? Like Austin Reeves, he wasn't doing what he was doing year one, but he was also older. He got the opportunity. He embraced the opportunity, took the opportunity, right? Like Jalen Hood-Schifino, yes, there have been signs like where you're like, this guy's good, but there's also been signs that he can be good. And we'll see how that goes and how that develops. Again, I think more likely than not, Jalen Hood-Schifino will be wearing another jersey, probably by draft day. But again, with the Lakers drafting at number 17, this draft isn't looked at as like this insanely deep, very talented, versatile draft. The draft is always sort of a bit of a crapshoot anyway, right? Like you're always trying to hope and bank that like this guy works. Again, like Jaime Jaquez. All these teams passed on Jaime Jaquez, 17 teams or whatever passed on Jaime Jaquez. No one thought he was going to be the impact guy that he is right now, right? I mean, you could go back guys like Draymond Green, Nikola Jokic, right? Like the list goes on and on of guys that came in. I mean, Austin Reeves, even with the Lakers, right? He's a guy that went undrafted. I mean, partly because he chose to. There were teams that wanted to draft him, but he wanted to kind of force his way to the Lakers, which he landed. And he might end up being a piece that ends up getting traded and shipped out. But, you know, to run the gamble on the 17th pick, right? Like if that's worst case scenario, I don't think that that's a bad scenario. You know, obviously people would love to get, Zack Aldrich, right? Which, yeah, he'd be great. He's a center that could help, but there's a lot of questions about, like, can he adjust to the NBA and the fast pace? And, he's more slow-footed. And, can he actually be, like, a starting level impact rotation big? Right? The idea is that he may be able to get there, right? But there are a lot of questions. I mean, even when he was tearing it up with Purdue, there were still quite people and scouts and stuff are still kind of questioning that, which, you draft a guy and then it's like, he's not what we would be. Then everyone would be like, they shouldn't have drafted Zack Aldrich. I knew he was, but it's a lose-lose unless a guy becomes, a star or something like that. Like how many times have fan bases booed a draft pick and then later they're like, oh man, this is the guy. Like, it just, again, it's you're rolling the dice. To me, if you get a quality piece for now and even potentially the future, then I think you do that. Right? And the Lakers, that's never really been their history. I know that's kind of the trend right now, right? Like you look at all these teams that are having this success and are on these deep playoff runs and whatnot, right? You look at most of them and they're all, like they've all drafted guys. They've all, kind of built it and then added pieces here and there, right? Like Denver had drafted guys and then added a guy, like a KCP, an Aaron Gordon. Even Dallas, right? Like draft Luka, draft Lively, right? You add in a Kyrie Irving, you add in, this key piece, that key piece, right? Like I get that that's the kind of the cool trend right now, and so people kind of want the Lakers to do that organically. But the Lakers have never really done that. And I don't, if we're being honest, like the Lakers are probably not going to do that. Right? Even Austin Reeves. I don't think Austin Reeves is untouchable. I think if they could go get a Donovan Mitchell, they're going to trade Austin Reeves to go get Donovan Mitchell. I don't think that they're just going to trade guys, right? But every time the Lakers have made a big splash, it has paid out, right? Like people didn't want them to trade for Anthony Davis, right? Like, no, you save these pieces. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh, like all these guys. It's like, we don't want to trade all these guys. We want to rebuild. And then they trade for Anthony Davis and boom, immediately win a championship. The Lakers won the trade. Right? There's still to this day people trying to justify why the Lakers did it. Lakers won a championship. When you win a championship after a trade that you just made, you won the deal. Hate to break it to you. Like, there are still teams that have never won an NBA championship. So, to me, it's not the Lakers' kind of MO. It's not what the Lakers do, right? The Lakers, they go and they get their guy. They get the star. They add the piece. They don't necessarily grow, develop, and build them. I'm not saying that they never have, but more times than not, They built the roster and then they kind of had that guy, like a Kobe scenario, right? But even that was a trade. But still, it's draft guy that comes in, but you had Shaq and you had all these other pieces that you added, right? Going back to, Magic and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you got draft picks that paid out, but you also went and traded for Kareem and stuff like that. Like, it's just what the Lakers have done, right? I mean, even on the runs with Kobe, right? Like, yeah, you drafted Kobe or when you traded the draft rights to Kobe, but get my point, right? He was a draft pick that you grew and kind of developed and he became this superstar, but you went and you traded for the Pau Gasol. You traded for the Lamar Odom. Right? Like, so it's kind of been like they get their guys and then hopefully they hit on that star pick, right? Where with the Lakers, that's probably what they're going to do, right? It's like you got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis, you're in a win now position, right? Like if you can hit on a second round pick, I think the Lakers would love to do that. Lakers, most of their success in draft picks in the past few years have been second round picks, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. And then even like a Max Christie, they got to figure out what to do with him. But anybody that they draft, if they can trade them, they're going to trade them most likely or more likely than not before they actually develop into what people want them to develop in. Now maybe post LeBron James and Anthony Davis and whatnot, like let's say the Lakers aren't able to get another star, right? Maybe they ship out and trade Anthony Davis and LeBron goes and retires and then they hit that reset button and kind of build organically through the draft and kind of take 5 years or whatever to kind of get in that position. But it's not really the Lakers, right? Lakers want now. Championship or bust every year, right? And the only way to kind of stay in that conversation constantly is to go get the guy, right? Like how do the Lakers always in the conversation, and every, handful of years end up winning a championship? Because they go get that guy, right? You go get Shaq, right? You go get Powell, you go get LeBron, right? You go get Anthony Davis. And then now they're going to go try to get that other guy, whether it's a Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, unfortunately. It's just, that's what the Lakers do. So I'm all for trading the pick. Again, it depends on what you get in return. If you're just trading it, just trade it, then yeah, that's silly. But if it makes sense, if it makes dollars make sense, I'm all for it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think yes, Lakers trade the pick, obviously get something worth the value? Do you think no, you should keep that pick, kind of use that for your future? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.